The first thing Jasper noticed was the smell fading. Not all at once. Not dramatically. It happened the way winter steals leaves from trees. Quietly, one at a time, until the branches are bare and you cannot remember when they changed. For 12 years, Jasper had known the scent of his owner better than he knew the world itself. Ethan smelled of cedar soap, old books, rainwater trapped in denim, and the peppermint candies he kept in the truck dashboard. Jasper could find him in crowds, through storms, across parks full of strangers and squirrels and roasting meat. That scent was home. So when Ethan left one gray October morning and didn't come back by sunset, Jasper waited by the front door with patient certainty. Humans disappeared sometimes. They always returned. The house carried Ethan's scent everywhere then. On the couch cushions. On the wool coat hanging by the stairs. On the coffee mug forgotten beside the sink. Jasper curled beside the door and I slept lightly, ears twitching at every passing car. Night came. Morning followed. Then another night. By the third day, people began arriving at the house. They smelled like saltwater sadness and damp clothes. Jasper recognized some of them. Ethan's sister, Claire. The old man from next door. 2 women from Ethan's work. They knelt to pet him more than usual. "Oh, buddy," Claire whispered, pressing her forehead against his. "I'm so sorry." Jasper licked her hand politely and returned to the door. Ethan would come back eventually. He had to. The days changed shape after that. Claire started visiting every morning to feed Jasper. Sometimes she cried while washing dishes that didn't need washing. Sometimes she sat at the kitchen table staring into nothing while Jasper rested his head on her knee. "Eat something, Jasper," she would say softly. But grief has a scent dogs understand even when they cannot understand death. It smelled sharp and empty at the same time. The house slowly lost Ethan. First the air changed, then the blankets, then the shirts disappeared from closets. Claire packed things into boxes while crying quietly enough that she probably thought Jasper couldn't hear. One afternoon, Jasper panicked. Claire carried a large garbage bag toward the front door, and Ethan's winter coat was inside it. Jasper barked wildly. Not an angry bark, a frightened one. He jumped against the bag, clawing desperately until Claire stopped. "Oh," she whispered. She sat on the floor beside him and pulled the coat free. Immediately, Jasper buried his face into it, breathing deeply. Cedar, peppermint, rainwater, Ethan. Tail wagging furiously, Jasper looked toward the door. "See, he'll need this when he comes home." Claire broke down crying. After that, she left the coat unwashed beside Jasper's bed. Winter arrived early that year. The neighborhood became quieter, wrapped in cold air and chimney smoke. Jasper began wandering farther from home during the afternoons, searching sidewalks and parks and familiar routes. He checked the hardware store where Ethan bought birdseed. He waited outside the coffee shop where Ethan always dropped crumbs from muffins. He sat beside the pond in Miller Park, where they used to feed ducks together every Sunday morning. People recognized him. "There's Ethan's dog. Poor thing. I heard he still waits for him." Sometimes strangers offered treats. Jasper accepted them out of politeness, but his eyes remained fixed on streets and passing faces. One snowy evening, he caught a scent that made his heart leap. Peppermint. Jasper bolted across the road, ignoring honking cars. A man in a dark coat turned around, startled as Jasper skidded to a stop before him, tail whipping hopefully. But it wasn't Ethan. Wrong shoes, wrong eyes, wrong soul. The man crouched carefully. "Hey there, buddy." Jasper sniffed once more, then stepped back. Not him. Never him. The man watched sadly as Jasper trotted away into falling snow. Claire eventually moved into the house permanently. She tried very hard. She bought Jasper better food. She brushed him every evening. She took him on walks before work and let him sleep beside the fireplace at night. Maybe someday you'll stop looking, she murmured one evening while scratching behind his ears. Jasper gazed toward the window. Snow drifted quietly beyond the glass. He didn't understand the words, but he understood the ache inside them. Stop looking? How could he? Ethan was out there somewhere. Lost perhaps. Hurt maybe. Waiting. Dogs know loyalty in the way stars know gravity. It is not a choice. It is simply what they are. Years passed. Jasper's muzzle whitened. His steps slowed. The neighborhood changed around him. Families moved away. Trees were cut down. The coffee shop became a bakery. Children who once petted him after school grew tall enough to drive cars. Still, Jasper searched. Less far now. Mostly familiar streets. Mostly memories. Every evening he carried Ethan's old winter glove onto the porch and rested beside it, while sunset painted the world gold. Claire often sat nearby, reading quietly. "You know," she said once, voice trembling with age and affection, "I hope there's something after all this." Jasper leaned against her leg. Humans talked strangely sometimes, but he liked the softness in her voice. She scratched under his collar. "If there is," she whispered, "I hope Ethan's waiting for you." Jasper thumped his tail once. Of course Ethan was waiting. That was the whole point of waiting. The final winter came gently. Jasper was very old by then. His hips hurt in the mornings, and stairs had become mountains. Claire carried him outside some days wrapped in blankets, while snowflakes melted against his fur. One night, thunder rattled the windows. Jasper lifted his head from beside the fireplace. Something felt different. Not wrong, just near. Claire slept in her armchair, glasses tilted crookedly on her nose. The television flickered silently across the room. Jasper stood carefully. Pain moved through his joints like rusted hinges, but he managed. Step by step, he crossed to Ethan's old coat hanging near the hallway. Though faded by years, the scent still lingered faintly within the fabric. Jasper pressed his nose against it and closed his eyes. Cedar, peppermint, rainwater, home. Then, for the first time in a very long while, he heard Ethan's voice clearly. "Good boy." Jasper's tail wagged instantly. His cloudy eyes opened. The room had changed. The firelight was brighter somehow, golden and warm beyond natural warmth. The walls shimmered softly. The ache in his bones disappeared like water evaporating under sunlight. Jasper looked down. He was standing straighter, younger, strong. Confused but excited, he turned toward the living room. Claire still slept in the chair, but another figure stood near the front door. Tall, familiar, beloved. Ethan. For one suspended heartbeat, Jasper could not move. 12 years of waiting crashed into him all at once. Then he ran. Not the slow, painful trot of old age, a full sprint. Paws thundered across hardwood floors as joy exploded inside him so fiercely it almost hurt. Ethan dropped to his knees just as Jasper collided into him. Oh, Jasper. The voice, the smell, the laugh. Real, completely real. Jasper whined wildly, licking Ethan's face, chest, hands. Every part of him within reach. His tail beat the air so hard his whole body shook. Ethan held him tightly, burying his face into Jasper's neck. "I missed you too, buddy." Jasper barked happily. Finally, 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 finally. He had found him. Behind them, the house began dissolving into light. Not disappearing frighteningly, but unfolding softly like mist under morning sun. Walls stretched into golden horizons. The ceiling opened into endless skies filled with drifting clouds painted pink and silver. Jasper stepped back in amazement. Grass rolled beneath his paws now. Thick, cool, perfect. Wildflowers swayed in warm wind carrying scents of rivers, forests, and thousands of beautiful unknown things. Somewhere nearby, birds sang. Farther away, countless dogs barked joyfully. Jasper looked up at Ethan. The sadness was gone from him. Not hidden, gone. No exhaustion behind his eyes, no invisible heaviness in his shoulders, only peace. Ethan smiled gently and scratched behind Jasper's ears exactly the way he always had. "You waited for me all that time?" Jasper leaned against him. "Of course." Ethan laughed softly, though tears filled his eyes. "I tried to come back, you know." Jasper tilted his head. "When I died?" Ethan paused, gazing toward the endless hills. "I kept thinking about you. I worried you'd think I abandoned you." Abandoned. Jasper didn't know the word, but he understood Ethan's sorrow. So he licked Ethan's hand firmly. No anger, no blame, only love. That was all there had ever been. Together they began walking. The meadow stretched forever without becoming tiring. Streams glittered beneath crystal skies. Dogs of every shape and size raced through fields while people laughed nearby. Some reunited joyfully, some rested peacefully beneath enormous trees, some simply walked side by side, no longer separated by pain or time. Jasper noticed an old golden retriever bounding toward them with impossible puppy energy. Behind her ran a little girl shrieking happily. Ethan smiled. "Looks like everybody finds someone eventually." Jasper barked approvingly. That seemed right. As they climbed a hill, Ethan stopped suddenly. "You know what hurts most?" he asked quietly. "I wasn't there at the end for you." Jasper looked up. Ethan crouched beside him, voice cracking. "You spent your whole life taking care of me. And when you needed me most." Jasper pressed forward until their foreheads touched. Humans misunderstood loyalty sometimes. Loyalty was not a trade, not a bargain, not something given only when circumstances were perfect. Jasper had never counted the lonely nights or years of searching. Love did not keep score that way. Ethan closed his eyes, understanding anyway. "I really did have the best dog," he whispered. Jasper wagged proudly. Correct. Far below them, like a distant reflection upon water, Jasper could see Claire sitting beside the fireplace. Morning sunlight filtered through windows. She had awakened. He watched her discover his still body curled peacefully beside Ethan's old coat. Her face crumpled instantly. "Oh no," she whispered. She knelt beside him, trembling. For a moment, grief swept through the room like a storm tide. Then something changed. Claire noticed the expression on Jasper's face. Peaceful, content, almost happy. Slowly, tears still falling, she smiled. "You found him, didn't you?" she murmured. Jasper barked softly, though she could not hear it. "Yes." Claire stroked his fur one final time. "Good boy." The words drifted upward like birds. Jasper's tail wagged. Ethan heard them too. Together they watched as Claire wrapped Jasper gently in a blanket and carried him into the garden beneath the oak tree, where Ethan used to sit during summer evenings. Snow had melted there already. Tiny green shoots pushed through earth toward sunlight. Life continuing. Always continuing. Ethan rested a hand on Jasper's back. "She'll be okay." Jasper trusted him. They stood together quietly until the vision faded into gold. "Come on," Ethan said eventually. He picked up a stick from the grass and grinned. Jasper's ears perked instantly. No way. Ethan laughed and threw it across the endless field. Jasper exploded forward with joyful speed. Wind rushed through his fur. Muscles stretched strong and young. The world smelled alive beyond imagination. Behind him, Ethan shouted with laughter. Ahead, the stick bounced through golden grass beneath eternal sunlight. And for the first time in many years, Jasper was no longer searching. He was home.